Hey, what's up, you guys? I am at Locals with my friend Ron, and we're getting a deck profile. What deck is this?
Yangs.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hop in.
Alright, to start, you're going to use your normal run through the engine. 3 Swanee, 3 BN, I'm pronouncing it. I use 2 Bixie, and I use 1 Pulau. I mean, they're kind of just placeholders. Bixie's good. I don't want to run 3 because you don't need him that often. He's nice, but he's not necessary. And the tuners, obviously, I got 1 Jiao Tao and 3 Chiwen. Jiao Tao is for Beals plays. He's pretty good for coming back whenever no monsters field.
I'm not crazy.
On the monster lineup that is non-Yangs, I got 2 Masked Chameleons, which, I mean, I can hear a lot of people talking about not running it at all or running it at 1, but I still like the 2 just for that splash Bixie factor whenever you need it. And because the deck has no search function whatsoever and it just hurts if the deck is Thunder King Ryo for obvious reasons. Let's see, as spells we got triple Zing Path. It's Path. Well, I'm not going to explain why we need it. I do True Supply Squads. True. I do True Supply Squads. Just 2 of them. I'm hearing a lot of people also saying not to run this either, but it's just better to have that during your turn since you're gonna have a lot of cards that blow up your stuff on your turn to go off, and it's good to have them for the Yazi and Baxi effects. 2 Dark Holes. Now that Dark Hole's at 2, you kind of don't need to run Thunder Crash, so I just put Dark Hole at 2 and maybe a couple other crashes, I guess. 2 MST. It's mostly just for defensive reasons, like I'm seeing Vanities still everywhere.
You didn't reserve it?
You've already got me.
Book of Moon, because it's Book of Moon. Soul Charge, because of Soul Charge. It's actually really good in Yangs, of course, it's good in everything, but Yangs really make effect for it for the backseat play. Yeah. And then my Yoinkers, I got Stash Steal and My Control. Yoinkers. 3 Creation. I'm still kind of back and forth whether I'm going to run 3 or not. Like 3 seems to work pretty well, but sometimes I feel like I really don't want 2 at the same time in my hand. And then there's always Call the Haunted. I'm going to run 2 of the same one at one point, but I just want to see which one works better. Call the Haunted's nicer because you have an extra card in the field for backseat to pop for summon. And then Oasis is actually an extra worm on the field. Also, it puts them in defense mode, so if you have like an Arclight you want to bring back to the field when they start searching or banishing stuff. 3 Breakthrough. Skill Drain just is kind of hurting me more than helping me right now, so Breakthrough's working pretty well. And make sure I got all the monsters that are problems on my opponents on my turn or can be dealt with. Torrential, of course, because if you're not running Torrential and Yangs, then you should stop playing Yu-Gi-Oh! 2 Needle Sealing. I mean, going back and forth with this one between what other cards should run. Needle Sealing seems to work best right now. Deep Prison's on the good one to side, I guess. But Needle Sealing works pretty well to go off when you need to go off and then clear the field, of course. Because field clearing is important right now. And then Stables, Pulse, and Bottomless. And now for my extra deck lineup with my sweet Hieratic sleeves. 2 Arclights. It's really good against a lot of the meta. It hurts BA, it hurts Shadows. Even if it doesn't hurt them for its normal effect, which banishes cards from monsters from the hand or deck that go to the graveyard, it's also the fact that it has the Stardust Assault Mode effect, distributing to destroy it. And then if you have Backseal, which you probably will, you can just keep recycling out. It's nice to have for those 2. Samsara. I like Samsara for those plays to where you just need to get something back. I've won games just because I would run into a card and take someone's BLS from a grave or something like that, or pick up something off of my grave. Another 5 is Armades, because he does not like monsters in the battle phase. Of course, I mean, you should be running Armades just about every deck right now. Hyperlive, placeholder, draws cards. That's not a bad card to have, especially with this stuff. 2 6s, we got Flambeau, Urquasis, whatever you pronounce it, and then Goyo. Urquasis is simply the only piercer in the game, so it's not a bad idea to have it. And of course, Goyo is Goyo. I'm running 1 Yazi. I mean, if I get more, I might think about running more, but 1 seems to work just fine. I don't really base the deck around having him, despite the fact that he's a really important, I guess, placeholder in the game. As soon as he hits the board with some effects protecting him, like Bixie and BN, he's kind of really hard to get around. 2 Baxia, the back to the deck effects are just too great, especially during your opponent's turn. Stardust Spark, you see the Volcanic decks running around. I prefer this one over Stardust because of all that. If the Volcanic Scatter Shots use their effect, he can still activate his effect to protect himself. Thought Ruler, I actually just won my last duel because of Thought Ruler. I was getting pummeled on by Shadows until I brought him out late game and started to get all my life back. Also got Scrap Dragon because the Yangs utilize their effects based on the Scrap Dragon's effect, which is pretty good. Beals because it's Beals, and Leo, which a full combo Leo is really hard to get around.
And a Luna.
So,
Yes.
even though Yang Zing are like, you know, some people say they're like irrelevant, how do you feel like they stack up against some of the meta decks today?
They have a lot of answers to get around a lot of the problems that the meta is presenting. I guess the problem is people don't want to put in the effort to make them really work, which I can understand. You have to really put a lot of effort in. You have to target certain decks. So you have to. I guess the way to run the deck properly against the meta is to find out as soon as possible what deck you're playing against. That means even if you first turn Mind Control or set Monster just to see what it is, it's worthwhile because you need to find out what you're playing against so you know how to play.
Alright, I appreciate the deck profile. If you guys liked it, leave a comment, subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos, and thanks again for the profile.